ISO 9001, 2015, quality management systems, how to implement them, what you need to focus on, what you need to create, what you need to implement, what you need to train all of your people on to help your quality management system help your organization win government tenders, improve processes, improve procedures, improve the outcomes of your organization. Hey, my name's Kobi Simmat. I'm the CEO here at Best Practice. And in this video, I'm going to be going through and talking to you about the 10 most popular questions with regards to ISO 9001 2015.
What are the 7 quality management principles?
Obviously, what I talked about with starting a quality management system a couple of questions ago was we talked about focusing on the customer. We talked about what are the promises that you make to your customer. So quality management principle number 1 is customer focus. So when you're developing your management system, a lot of people ask me, where do I start? You start with customer focus. Quality management principle number 2 is about leadership. So what we want to be starting to understand is we want to get leadership engagement. We want leadership involvement. So the second thing that you want to be working on is leadership. And I talk about that a lot. We're saying start with management review. If you're starting the implementation of a quality management system following ISO 9001, 2015, start with management review and start with engaging leadership. Point number 3, or quality management principle number 3, is engagement of people. Our job as managers, we only really have one job, and this is documented. Andrew Grove wrote about this in his book, High Output Management. He talks about, as a manager, you've really only got one job. It is to motivate and train people. And so quality management principle number 3 is engagement of people. And we engage people. So we bring them and we say, hey, what do you guys need to do to ensure we deliver our promises to our customers? And what processes do we need to follow? What tasks do we need to do? What do we need to remember? What do we need to ensure we avoid? What mistakes do we, have we learned from that we need to avoid? So by engaging our people and saying, hey, what do we need to do? Then you can actually have everybody focused, with customer focus and engaging people. Instead of pointing the finger and saying you need to do this or you should do this, we can say, hey, what do we need to do as a team? Quality principle number 4 is a process approach, starting to think how your customer moves all the way through your organization, through the steps of your flow, if you like, from receiving some initial advertising or marketing, to engaging with you to find out about your product or service, to starting the commercial transaction and discussions to come to an agreement, to go through the process and say, hey, we want to do business together, doing business together, and then obviously receiving the service. So let me just have a quick look at a couple of comments that popped up. Process approach, evidence-based decision-making. Thank you, Jarrett, on YouTube. The system becomes more effective with engaged leadership and finding a quality champion. Stan Wall, I absolutely agree with you, seeing that up there on LinkedIn. So the next one is, obviously, I talked about process approach. The next quality management principle is improvement. Something we're all about here at Best Practice is the constant business improvement cycle of plan, do, check, act. And the whole goal here is to measure and monitor your performance and then start saying, okay, what can we do to improve? The next one, which has just come up there in the comments, thank you, Jarrett. Jarrett Rich there on YouTube. Thank you for your comments there. Evidence-based decision-making. In the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, it's right there on the shelf, he talks about the Stockdale paradox. He interviewed Colonel Stockdale after being in a prisoner of war camp in World War II, and it's worth reading that case study in Good to Great. The Stockdale paradox is about confronting the brutal facts while still being an optimist. So it's not about being delusionally optimistic, it's about confronting the brutal facts of the situation, which is fact-based decision-making or evidence-based decision-making using data, using monitoring and measurement. ISO 9001 2015 focuses in on improvement. There's an improvement section of the standard, but it talks about monitoring and measurement. It talks about performance over time graphs. It talks about data. It talks about objectives and targets. The logos here at Best Practice are graphs. They are performance over time graphs showing improvement. And it is that fact-based, evidence-based decision-making so that you can use the numbers instead of, being I talk about it a lot, don't be a focus group of one or an echo chamber in your own head. actually go and look at the data and see what the data says and confront the brutal facts. The final one, number 7, is all about relationship management. So quality principle number 7 is relationship management, and it's all about your customer relationships and your customer focus, but obviously your supplier relationships, your stakeholder relationships, your regulator relationships, and good quality relationship management, frequent communications, transparent communications. You're all going to be able to work together to build a great brand.